Hi everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios where anything can happen. And today is 10-Minute Tuesday. And this is a perfect time to do a 10-minute card kind of thing, is when you've got a kit, elements already pulled out and worked for you. This is part of my Card Chicks kit for September from Splitcoast Stamper Terry Seaman in our Card Chicks group. And I meant to have this done. We post our cards between the 21st and the 24th of every month. And I meant to have mine done, and it was going to be one of the projects I did last week until last weekend, and then I got hit with the sinus infection and it didn't get done on time. So anyway, 10-Minute Tuesday, we're going to play with this. Now, I had told you last time we did 10-Minute Tuesday we would probably work with this one. Well, the sentiments that came in this kit, excuse me, don't really work with these little flags here. So I have pulled out this kit, this sketch from Splitcoast. It's sketch card number 13. And this is going to be what we're going to work with. And I didn't pull out a card base. Let me do that really quick. I think, because it's handy, we're going to work with a sea spray base for this one. And I'll put it back on top. And then I want to work with, we're going to have to color the lion. And so I could test the colors earlier. There were 4 of these images in this kit. 2 were just on the cardstock, and 2 she had die cut out. So we will very quickly go through and color one of these for this card. Give you a layout of the kit. This cute little lion is Main Event from Tailored Expressions. We have designer series paper from Pebbles, Happy Hooray, Party Animal, Candy Shop, and American Crafts Balloons. We have enamel dots to work with. Pebble Sprinkles, the Paper Shop Red, Yellow, and Green, and then a small action wobble. And I'm not sure if we're going to work with the wobble on this one or not. We'll see how this comes about. Then we also have ribbon in Celebrated Red Polka Dot, Stampin' Up! Tangerine, and Offray Blue Polka Dots. And I'm not sure which ribbon we're going to work with. So we'll see. I'm thinking probably this one, because I pulled out the sea spray and I'm kind of going with the blues. As I looked at this, I think this is probably, I'm going to turn this sketch over because I keep looking at it instead of the one I need. I think I want to run, because the card has to run horizontally, but I think we're going to run the stripes on here. And then this is going to be where we put our lion. And then we're going to need a piece of the, no, I guess we won't need the white cardstock because we already have the sentiments stamped out. All I have to do is punch one of those out, and I think I'm going to have a wild day will fit on here. So real quick, let's go ahead and cut. I didn't bring my iPad in with me, so I've got my timer. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye out on the phone to see where we're at. Now our card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Excuse me. We want the base to come in a little smaller. So I need to cut this to 5 1/4. So I need 5 1/4. Should have brought water in with me. Try not to talk and cough too much through this. And then it's going to lay right there on top of that card base. So we'll go ahead and we'll glue it into place. I am looking at 4 minutes right now. But that was the introduction. So let's put this card together. Oh, I didn't look at the candy stuff on the back of this. This would have been pretty too. But when I first opened this envelope from Terry, this blue polka dot jumped out at me. So I knew it's the one I wanted to use. Okay, now, one thing about sketches is they don't always come with the dimensions. And so you've got to play with them a little bit. Now this one looks like we have about a 1/2 inch border around over here for this one to go, and which is what we're going to cut our mat down to. So we need to look at probably somewhere in the area of maybe a 2.5 inch square by a 3.5. Let's cut that one and see where we are. So we'll cut this one to 2.5 by 3.5. And if it's not right, we have another bigger square here to work with. But that looks like it's going to be just about right to put our lion on. So let's pull our papers over here. And I have pulled out Stampin' Blends to work with. I have pre-tested the blending marker this time. We're going to work with, to make our lion, we're going to use the light Daffodil Delight and the light Soft Suede to give our lion his color. I used a combination of light Petal Pink and light Flirty Flamingo for his nose. Also used the light Flirty Flamingo for the fluffy thingy on his hat. And then we're using the light Balmy Blue to color in the hat. So let's do this first. What I did was I took the light Soft Suede and I just edged everything out. Now in the mane, I went ahead and I just did a light swirl. If you go in circles with your blendables, your colors will blend better. They'll blend into one another better. So we're just going to go in through here with this. Colored the backs of his ears. And then down here I just touched like his toe points there and come down his paw a little bit. Now we're going to come back in with the light Daffodil Delight and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to swirl over top. And what that does is it tones down the brown just a little bit, makes it more of a really heavy blonde. And it'll fill in where I didn't get all the way. And then I did his arms. Let's see, the other thing I did do was I did go around his belly here, just kind of gave a little bit of shadow. And then came back and did the swirly circles with the Daffodil Delight. Now this is a perfect, all the sentiments are birthday type things, and this is perfect for, as Terry said, for a kid's card or for somebody who's kid at heart. Want to make sure you get your cat caps back on your blendabilities really well. Make sure you hear that snap. And then I'm coming back in with the blender pen and letting that alcohol tone that brown down a little bit more and blend it into the background and pull that yellow up to the top a little bit. And that's all there is to coloring our lion. Now, I did do just the light Daffodil Delight on his face. I didn't add any of the brown at all. I did just the Daffodil Delight. And while it may seem kind of dark at first, wait till you come back in with your blendability pen, and you can really lighten it up so it's not quite as a stark yellow. Let it dry, and if it's still not light enough for you, then you can go back and you can take a little bit more of the yellow off. Okay, now we're going to come in with the light Petal Pink. And I did the same thing here. I'm going to use the light Flirty Flamingo first. And just barely touch up his nose, just so I've got a little bit of background color. And then I'm going to come back in on top with the light Petal Pink. Can't believe this. I am square in camera. Woohoo! Okay, and now while I've got this light Petal Pink, we're going to come back in and we're going to do the insides of his ears. Just like that. And I left his tummy white and I left his snozzle here white. And then I've got the light Flirty Flamingo to come back in and do the flowers, flower petals. Now I forgot to grab a green while I was up, so I will later come back and add a couple of little spots of green to those leaves that you can barely see. Color in his tassel on the top of his hat. And then I'm coming back in with a dark daffodil delight. Is that what I got? Yep, dark daffodil delight. And put centers on those flowers. Now, if I was not working with just the things in the kit, I would come back and probably add tiny bling to the centers of the flowers. But we're to work only with what's in the kit. So now I'm coming in with the light balmy blue and coloring the hat in. And again, I would probably come in with maybe some stickles and add to his hat. And you know what? Oh, excuse me. Let's go ahead and use this little wobble thing. I think he's absolutely adorable. And I'll show you why in just a minute. Let me get stuff out of here. I've never used one of these before, so this will be interesting. And I'm going to need a punch for this, but we're going to mount that right there. And remember, this was 2.5 by 3.5 is what we wind up cutting this down to. And we're going to position it right over here to the side. Kind of use our lines to help square it up. And then we're going to take our little squiggly here, and it's got adhesive on it. And I'm going to say this is probably find out where she got these little wobblies, because I think I'd like working with these in a junk journal. Adding movement to pages maybe. Somewhere here I have there it is, my pick tool. So I can get up underneath the edge of that and pop that paper right off of there. And we're going to stick him to the center of our lion. This is the first kit I've ever had where they've had one of these little wobbly things on it. Probably could have stuck that, and I don't know, I can move it. Put it more in the center of his head so that it's completely hidden. And then we're going to come back with our pick tool and get up underneath there and pull that paper off without slipping and poking ourselves in the finger. And we'll put him right there. And look at that, he wiggles. That is so cute. Okay, let me grab my punch for the sentiment, and we will be almost completely done with this card. I think this one will work. Let's see. I don't think I want Make a Wish. I want Have a Wild Day. I really like that one. And look at that. It's going to fit perfectly. Just like that, I used the 1.5 inch scallop square from Stampin' Up. And where's my sketch at? It's going to fit, well, almost not big enough. So, but we have papers to work with, so let's do that. I don't like that one. The balloons are pretty busy. I don't think I like that one. Almost needs a plain piece of cardstock, but we can't add anything. So, let's see. This might be 1.5 by 1 inch. 1.5 by 1 inch. But let's make it a 1.5 inch, well, that's 1.5, 1 3/4 inch square. Let's try that with this. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and see what that gives us. Let's that stand out a little bit. Now I'll let it stand out there. And you know what? We do have ribbons. What did I do with my blue? That might be just what we need right there to go to the edge of that. That's going to work. That's going to work. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, we're adding ribbon to there, and we know that that Tombow probably is not going to work as well. So let's run a couple of pieces of tearing tape down this. And because this wants to overlap, let's take this first one off and then run the other one on top of it, because we want this ribbon to adhere really well. And I've got a ribbon fray there that's driving me crazy, so I'm going to trim that off just a little bit, and hopefully the adhesive on here will keep that from fraying anymore. And then let's put this, I want to line it up so the edge is right here with the edge of the paper. And then we can come in here and we can trim this off so it overlaps just a little bit, just enough to connect. There we go. That works. Get that other piece unstuck from my finger. And then this will sit right there. That will work. Now, we've got this ribbon bit here sticking up, so let me look here where I've got dimensionals and raise this piece up a little bit so that we straddle that ribbon. There, just like that. And we're at 16 minutes, so we've done about 12 minutes. Part of it's because I can't get a hold of the tape. And we might make sure our balloons are going right side up, even though we don't see much of them. And then we're going to take our glue to the back of the square. My desk isn't as messy as it could be. It's been messier. So while it's not exactly, whoops, let's make sure we get it right side up. 10-Minute Tuesday, it took us less than 15 minutes to put this card together. And that was with me chattering at the beginning of this video. And there's our card. Excuse me, for 10-Minute Tuesday and for my monthly card checks. Now I've got other images in here, more lions. I can make more cards, but we only need to do one for this video. So that's it for 10-Minute Tuesday. Now, normally I do not do videos on Wednesday, but because Thursday is October 1st, and we've had some discussions in some of my other groups that I belong to about doing our, having time to do the videos and knowing what to post and that kind of thing. So tomorrow I will be here with my social media planner and show you how I set up my social media planner for my crafting business. So hopefully I'll have some tips for you guys out there. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. If you like seeing me throw cards together or just bumble my way through a kit or want to see more sketches or anything else that comes up in this studio, just remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And remember, when you do subscribe, to click all notifications so that you don't miss anything that comes up in this wild and crazy studio of mine. Thank you for joining me today. Creative blessings.